Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So I noticed that my video on narcissistic parents has been getting a lot of views and also getting a lot of feedbacks. And when I go through the comments, I see that a lot of people are just coming to the realization that their parents are narcissistic, and it's very extremely painful for them to come to this realization. And so basically what I wanted to do is offer some words of encouragement and some advice when it comes to healing. So I did pull tarot for this because when a lot of people watch my videos, the energy is circulating so strongly, it's easy for me to tap into it. So basically what I did is that I pulled tarot for people who are dealing with narcissistic parents. Then I pulled tarot for people who are dealing with narcissistic spouses. So I'm going to give you basically an inside look of what's going on in terms of your relationships, either with your parents or with your spouse, and then advice on how to move forward. So the way the video is going to be set up is like, first I'm going to give a tarot spread about people who have narcissistic parents, and I'm going to tap into different energies and different groups and ways that you can start to heal. Then I'm going to do a tarot spread about narcissistic relationships and tap into different groups and how you can begin to heal. And different groups can apply to you. Like, you can apply to different groups, meaning that if you resonate with the parents group and with the spouse group, then just take whatever resonates and apply it to your own life. So after I do the spreads, then I'm going to actually give like overall advice and like advice from my own personal experience when it comes to healing from these situations. I hope that makes sense. It'll make much more sense once I actually start the video. And like I said, I did pull tarot cards, but I pulled so many cards, like the messages kept coming through. So I pulled almost like my whole deck. So I'm not sure if I'm going to actually be able to take a picture of all these cards to insert in the video. I'll give it a try, but if not, I'm just going to, you'll just hear my voice explaining what the tarot cards say. So I hope that this information is going to be helpful to you, and hopefully it'll give you some clarity and help you in terms of moving forward with your healing journey. Okay, so we're going to start with the narcissistic parents first. So I pulled advice cards for those of you who watched that narcissistic parents video and kind of tapped into your energy to give you advice on how to move forward. So I'm seeing here that upon realizing that your parents are narcissistic, like coming to that realization, some of the energy that you're going to have the hardest time moving through is the fact that you were deceived. It's like a shock to your system when you think one way about something for your whole entire life and then it turns out to be the complete opposite. So a lot of you could have been taking the blame for a lot of what has gone on in your family, just carrying the weight of it really heavily on your shoulders, and you were kind of convinced that you were the issue and that if you were able to change and become a better person, then somehow magically your family problems would be over and then your family would love and accept you. But I'm seeing here that now you're coming to the very harsh realization that that's not the case, and that your narcissistic parent, actually I'm seeing more than one narcissistic person in this group. So you could be dealing with a whole family of narcissists. Could be dealing with narcissistic siblings as well. So I'm seeing that like you're coming to the realization that it's never been you, that it's just been that you have been deceived and tricked into believing that it was you. And at first, like I said, it's going to be a big shock to your system, but you're going to see in the end that this is actually a good thing, because now you can kind of wipe the slate clean, meaning that you were made to feel bad about yourself your entire life. And now you're feeling lost because you feel like you don't know who you are, because like I said, you thought one way about your life and now it's completely different. But what you're not seeing is that now you can write a whole new chapter. Like, you can write a whole new story. Actually, you can close the book on like the first half of your life, and now for the next half of your life you can literally be whoever you want to be because the slate is wiped clean. But what you're really going to have to work towards is deprogramming what you've been taught about yourself, and like the very negative self-beliefs that's been drilled into your head. That's going to be your challenge in getting past, so you can have a new beginning. And you also need to look at what in life will make you happy, because I feel like growing up with the narcissistic family, you have an idea of what happiness is. Like, some of you could have codependency, and your idea of happiness is like finding someone who can save you, like finding a romantic partner who can sweep you off your feet, have a family with you, and then that's it, you'll be saved. But you're going to soon come to find that that's not what life is all about. And the only reason that you feel like you need that is because you've been emotionally starved and deprived of emotions. So you think that the end all be all is getting into a relationship and that's what's going to make you happy. But that's not necessarily the case. So now what your job is to really sit and ponder about who you are as a person, who you would like to be, and what would actually make you happy, separate from the things that you thought would make you happy because you were being abused. And I'm also seeing that there is an energy shift taking place here So you can fully expect to have the universe's support, the universe, God, whatever you want to call it. You can fully expect to have universal support here. Like you're being offered a brand new beginning after a time of deceit and heartache. So just harness this energy and try your best to stay positive and move forward. But it's going to be a process to work through this. But like I said, there's an energy shift happening. So all positive things are coming to you, trust. Especially if you've been having problems with money or you've been having financial issues, there's some type of new beginning here being offered around your finances as well. So then for another group, or it could be for the same group, but it's just like additional messages. I'm seeing that some of you could be dealing with a very angry, narcissistic mother. And it's saying in the cards that it's time to really break free from that and move away from that, because I'm seeing here that like the narcissistic mother that you may be dealing with, they are very explosive. Like whenever they feel like they've been wronged, or they feel like they're losing some type of control over you, they get irate and they might actually verbally attack you, sometimes maybe physically attack you. And it's saying that it's really time to move away from that energy. And you may have a hard time doing this because this person, this narcissistic figure that's coming up here, it could be a man or a woman, but I'm seeing a mother. This person has continuously told you that you will be nothing without them and that like you're not going to make it on your own. So I'm saying that some of you are very shy and timid in terms of stepping out into the world and becoming an adult, because you think that maybe you're not going to be able to make it, and you're afraid of cutting this person off because you think, what if I fail? I'm not going to have anything to fall back on. But basically the cards are saying that you really need to take that leap of faith and just go, because you're never going to accomplish much and you're never going to be able to start your healing journey unless you are away from this energy. So if you are not able to get away at the moment, it's saying to continue to save your money, save whatever money that you have in order for you to basically have an escape plan in place, you know? Even if you have to do it in secrecy so that like she doesn't get angry and that she doesn't explode on you, just you have to do it, and you have to do it like right now, like start saving right now, because you need to get away from this toxic, hostile energy. And I'm also seeing that, yeah, with this Death card in reverse, it's just a repeat message that you have this fear of failing. And I feel like a lot of your fear of failing has to do with your finances. Like you're really afraid that if you move out on your own and then you can't afford rent or you can't afford bills, you're going to have to go crawling back to her. But it's saying to not be afraid of that, because once you get away from that energy and once you start actually being independent and on your own, you're going to become much more confident in your ability to be an adult and take care of yourself. So you need not be afraid of moving forward with your life. And basically it's saying that, how do I explain this? It's like right now you have this idea of money and finances, like it's impossible for you to stay afloat and it's impossible for you to actually take care of yourself. But the only reason why it's impossible is because you have the mind frame that it's impossible. You see what I'm saying? So like when you're raised in a narcissistic household, your narcissistic parents will tell you that, oh yeah, this is a cold world out here. You know, you're not gonna be able to pay rent. You're gonna starve. You know, like they'll plant that in your head so that you have to be dependent on them. But I'm seeing here that once you are out of the house and once you are independent and as an adult, your mind frame about money is going to change, and therefore the ways that you make money is going to change, and you're going to be able to bring it in much more easily. So I'm also seeing here, this could be a different group, or it could be just additional messages. So just take it as it applies. Some of you have actually been aware that your family or your parents are narcissistic and toxic, but you've been trying to hold on to hope that they can change. Like you've been really like praying on it and just hoping and wishing that maybe they can see the error of their ways. Some of you may have tried to like actually sit and reason with them, or like have a conversation with them about their behavior in the past, and it just wasn't getting through to them. But for some reason you're still hoping that one day they'll wake up and it'll get through to them. And I'm seeing here that if this hasn't happened already, it's going to happen soon, that you're going to come to the realization that things are just not changing and that they're not going to change. I'm not saying that they're never going to change, but it's saying in the cards that like they're not changing anytime soon. So when you come to this realization and you feel like hope is gone, you're going to go through a period of possible depression, just a lot of sadness. I see like a lot of tears, because you really were expecting and hoping that like things would get better. But the good news is that things are going to get better, just not in the way that you probably thought that they would. Because I'm seeing here that there's going to be some type of rapid movement forward. So you could be moving, you could be traveling, but there's some type of rapid movement forward once you come to the realization that they're not going to change and that like things are just not getting better. So you have to kind of remove yourself from the situation. There is some type of rapid movement. So let me pull one more card just to clarify. Yeah, the Knight of Pentacles. So it's something to do with money, possibly. Possibly some of you could be getting a new job offer. Yeah, Queen of Pentacles as well. Possibly some of you could be getting a new job offer and you're going to make the decision to focus on your career instead. If you have a passion, now is the time to really throw yourself into it, because you're trying to distract yourself from the heartache of that realization that things with your family are not going like you wanted them to go. So if you are needing a distraction, it's saying to really just throw yourself into your work at the moment, and also throw yourself into your self-love and self-care. Make sure you're being compassionate towards yourself, and make sure you're not just dismissing your feelings and burying them with work. But work is going to be an excellent healing, an excellent distraction, and a means of starting your healing process. So I'm also seeing here, again, this could be another group, or this could be just additional messages for the same group. Just take it as it applies. I'm also seeing here that a lot of you are now coming to the realization that your narcissistic parents or your abusive family has played a huge role in the way that you actually interact within your romantic relationships. So some of you could be in a relationship right now, and because you're having so much of this awareness about your narcissistic parents and family, you're starting to look at your spouse differently. Like, okay, now I'm seeing the similarities. Like, you're kind of connecting the pieces and putting two and two together, that the person that you're with, or that the people that you were with, this could be present or past tense, that basically they are just a reflection, or they're just like a clone, you could say, of your parents, just in a different body. So you're now coming to that realization, and it is making you feel a bit off balance, because I feel like you're getting hit with a lot of realizations at one time. Like, you're having realizations about your family, then you're having realization about your spouse, you're having realizations about yourself and the ways that you like get into these toxic relationships, and you're just having a lot of realizations, and you feel like your world is kind of crashing down. But basically, it's saying that even though it does feel like everything is crashing around you, it's for the best, and you're going to be able to build something new and stable from the ground up. So I'm not saying like, okay, well, just forget about the past or forget about what's going on, because it's kind of hard to forget, but it's saying to start moving forward, to like not live in this energy of like, how do I put this? I'm trying to like phrase the messages in my head. It's like a very destructive energy around you right now. You feel like everything's just like crumbling around you. And it's basically saying to keep the faith and to try your best to pull yourself out of that energy. Like, don't stay stuck in the past for too long. Like, stay in the past long enough for you to reflect on what's been going on and to give yourself the compassion. But don't stay there to the point where you start to like self-destruct and miss out on any of the blessings that are coming towards you. So I'm saying the King of Swords energy here. So I feel like this is your energy. Some of you could be air signs, but I feel like this is your energy of really going inwards and really analyzing the situation. And now you're coming to this point in time where you're just like, okay, I'm not taking any more BS. Like, anybody who is mistreating me or anybody who is not for my highest good, they're getting cut off. Like, you're really about to step into like this energy of self-empowerment, because you're having the clarity and the realization about the way that you were treated, which is not right and not fair. So it's like now you're going to start really protecting yourself the way that you should have been doing, but you weren't doing, because when you are raised by a narcissistic family, it's hard for you to set boundaries, and it's hard for you to love yourself and respect yourself enough to cut certain people off. But now you're stepping into this energy where you are going to cut people off, and you are going to start really sticking up for yourself, because you are tired of being taken advantage of. You're tired of feeling stabbed in the back. So this is a very positive energy that some of you are stepping into. Okay, so I also pulled cards for those who are in a relationship with a narcissist, or who just got out of a relationship with a narcissist. And I used a completely different deck, and I kid you not, the same exact, like almost the same cards came out for the parent reading and for the relationship reading. So, I mean, it's just crazy to see. So for this group, I see that some of you are involved with a narcissist at the moment. I feel like you have very strong soulmate energy with this person. You feel very deeply connected to this person. But at the present moment, it's like you are aware that they are narcissistic, or that they are abusive, or that they are deceitful. It's like the energy that I'm seeing is like someone who is not even trying to hide who they are anymore. Like, the narcissist that you're involved with maybe just openly being deceitful and disrespectful. Like, they're not even trying to hide who they are anymore. And it's like now you are starting to understand that there is no victory in this situation. And you're also starting to see the link and the connection between your parents and this narcissistic partner that you are with. So at this point in time, some of you are just now starting to have the realization. Hold on, let me pull one more card to clarify. Yeah, some of you are just now starting to have this realization. I'm seeing that this person that you're dealing with could be extremely cold and closed off. They could have ghosted you on more than one occasion and came back. It's somebody who makes you feel like you're all alone, even when you're in their presence. And I see here with the World card that this cycle that you have with this person is about to wrap up. It's about to come to an end. So if you are thinking about leaving your abusive partner, now really is the time, because I feel as though even if you don't leave them, they're going to be forced out of your life in some way. And that's not to scare you in any way, shape, or form, like, oh, get panicky, because a lot of people who have narcissistic parents, they have this fear of abandonment. So when they hear, like in a tarot reading, like, oh, this person's going to leave you, they immediately, like, their heart starts racing, they start sweating. It's like a natural reaction to having abandonment issues. So that's not the reaction that I'm trying to invoke in you. That's not the feeling that I'm trying to invoke in you. All I'm saying is that these cycles in your life with these abusive people, they have gone on long enough, and they are seriously weighing on you and taking a toll on you. And it's basically like time for you to really start to let this go, because it has been throwing you energetically off balance. I see that some of you can't focus on your career. You can't focus on, like, the things in your life that matter in terms of, like, building your future, your success, because you're so off balance by these people. And so I'm seeing here that now it's about time to really work towards releasing these people. If you suffer from love addiction, I'm not going to lie to you. Once you remove yourself from this narcissist, you will feel like you're withdrawing. You will feel like you have serious withdrawal symptoms. The way that you withdraw from a drug is usually the way that you withdraw from a narcissist, because you are almost addicted to the feeling that they give you, that toxic high that they give you. But withdrawing from them is better than them continuously ruining your life for the rest of your life. So you'd rather go through this withdrawal process after leaving them than to continuously stay in this lower energy of being betrayed and backstabbed and feeling like you're not worthy and like you're not good enough. So yeah, it's really time to let this situation go. And I'm seeing that work may be a very good distraction for some of you. If you have a passion or you've been wanting to start a business or something along those lines, now is the perfect time to do so, because you are about to receive some type of good karma. Because you have been putting so much time and energy and effort into the situation and your intentions have been pure, now is the time to start something on your own, like in terms of a business or something, because you have good karma coming your way. So you're going to be successful in anything you choose to start. But first you have to choose to step out of this negative cycle, or anything that you try to move forward and step into is just not going to work. So then I'm seeing this could be for another group, or this could be for the same group. It's just take it as it resonates. But I'm seeing, again, this has something to do with money. Some of you could be stuck in a situation with a narcissist because you are financially dependent on them. And this is romantic. This is not parents. I'm talking about like a romantic relationship still. So some of you could be dependent on your narcissistic partner. Let me see. I'm saying that this person could be very mentally manipulative. So they could be using their money to manipulate you to stay. But it could also be, I'm seeing that because of this situation with this narcissist, your energy is thrown off when it comes to money. So this is a similar energy than like as the last message I just gave. It's like people don't really understand the link between relationships and finances. Both are involving energy. It's all an energy game with love, with everything in life, really. Love, finances, everything. So it's all a game of energy. So when you are with a narcissist, when you are involved with a narcissist, you are going to be energetically thrown off balance at all times because their energy is just rancid. So while they're keeping you in your lower energy, it's affecting every other area of your life, including your money. So I'm seeing here that some of you are really going through financial struggles and you don't understand why you can't get out of this pit when it comes to finances. Like, why can't I stay above ground? Like, why am I always living paycheck to paycheck? Why is it that I'm just making just enough? When am I going to stop struggling? Well, you have to get away from this person to stop struggling, because their poisonous energy is actually seeping over into your career and into your finances. And I'm also seeing here that some of you are going to make the decision to walk away. But I feel like because you're coming to the realization that this person is a narcissist and that you are really realizing, understanding how much they have been deceiving you, you're going to want justice. Like, you feel like you've been wronged and you feel like this person needs to pay for what they have done. And I'm seeing here to be very, very mindful of that, because that very vengeful energy could bring out a really, really dark side of you. And you could react in a very emotionally immature way, and that could create bad karma for you. Trust me, I have been there. I have been in situations where like I've come to realization that the person I was with was a narcissist, and I'm just like, oh, like they deserve to pay. Like how dare they like deceive me and trick me that way? And then I start sending like really hateful, negative thoughts to them, not intentionally, but just like you feel tricked and deceived. So it's saying here to be mindful of that, because you actually do create negative karma for yourself when you do that. Like it's okay to be angry, it's okay to be frustrated, but just be careful with the ways in which you are directing it. You know, like go and work out, go punch a pillow, like go do something to like get that anger off of you, but just be careful. Like don't curse the person out, like don't wish death on the person. Like I'm seeing some of you, that's how you're going to be that angry that you're going to want to wish death on the person. Just try not to do that, because you'll be creating really bad karma for yourself. And it's time to like really go inwards and shine a light within and really do some really deep soul searching and focus on your healing work. Because if you focus too much on the fact that they deceived you, I'm saying that it's going to throw you really, really off balance, and then bad karma and a bad cycle is going to start all over. So don't suppress your feelings. Don't be like, okay, well, they did that, but that's okay, I forgive them. That's not realistic. Like you're a human being. It's like feel your feelings, understand why you feel that way, but at the end of the day, really just take care of yourself and focus on your soul work and your healing work. So I'm also seeing, again, I have to say this again, this could be another group or this could be the same group. Take the messages as they apply. I'm also seeing that I feel like this may be a different group, because I'm seeing that you may be coming to the realization for the first time that the person you're dating is a narcissist. Like you maybe had like an idea or a clue, but now I feel like you're really starting to see a secret might have came out about this person. If the secret didn't come out, don't worry. It's not going to come out. I'm saying for this group, you know the secret has already come out. And if it's not a specific secret, then it's like, no, I feel like it is a specific secret. The person that you were dealing with, the narcissist, may have been messing around behind your back. They may have been, I'm just feeling like a very sneaky energy, like they were doing something behind your back and then you found out, and now you come to the realization that they are abusive and toxic, because you're just like, wow, how could this person be one way to my face and then like a completely different way behind my back? Yeah, this person is sneaky. I don't know if the secret was that they were offering love to someone else behind your back. Hold on. Let me pull this. And again, for this group, this is for people who already know this. So don't be like paranoid, like, oh, like this person's cheating on me. Like, don't be paranoid. Oh yeah. Oh gosh. Okay. Yeah. This person, whoever this person was for this group, you're coming to the realization that they were dealing with someone else behind your back. That they had you in some type of third party situation. That's a secret that came out. And now you're starting to understand and realize that they are psychotic, and that they, maybe narcissistic, because you're seeing like, how could you possibly be one way to my face and a whole nother way behind my back? And this is going to throw you energetically off balance, of course, because you're a human being. So naturally you are going to be thrown off energetically. Let me pull some advice for that, because this is heavy energy. Yeah, I'm seeing here that you may get extremely pissed off with this person. Be very mindful of your temper. Be very mindful of the things that you say, because remember that what they did to you is their karma. The way you react is your karma. So I'm seeing here to be very, very careful of what you say to this person or what you do to this person. Even if you are tempted to seek revenge, don't. That's what it's saying. Don't. And gosh, it's a lot of heavy energy here, because I'm seeing like this is really going to throw some of you, this is really throwing some of you off balance. And again, I'm not predicting the future here. This is something that's already happened. So don't start thinking like, oh God, like this is going to happen. No, this is something that this is already happening to you. And I feel like you're still having a hard time walking away from this person. And I also see this person is affecting your money. This is like a reoccurring theme with this person is really affecting your job, your money. You're just feeling ungrounded, unstable. But I am seeing that you are coming out of this energy though, because we have the 9 of Swords in reverse. So you are coming out of this energy. I feel like you're not in the thick of it. I feel like you have already experienced the worst part of it. Like you've already experienced that moment where you realize like how terrible this person is. And I feel like now it's like you are coming out of it. You're at the tail end of it. Like you're almost about to push through to the other side, but you're like kind of teetering. Like part of you is like, okay, I'm over it, I'm moving on. And a part of you is still really stuck and angry. Like some days you might wake up feeling just extremely angry and extremely heartbroken. And the next day you could be feeling like, okay, well, I feel like I'm fine. And it's basically saying, okay, this person is really arrogant. It's pissing me off. The person that you're dealing with is someone who's really arrogant. But then again, if they're a narcissist, of course they are. But it's saying here that If the person cut communication with you, good. Don't try to reach out to them, even if it hurts, even if they did ghost you or they just completely cut communication, they discarded you. It's going to take a lot of strength for you to pull yourself back up after this, but you have the strength to do it. Like, it's in you to do it. And once you pull yourself back up, you're going to move towards something that you're more passionate about. I'm saying that that's the way that you're going to get out of this energy. You have to actually replace that person with something you're passionate about. That person was removed from your life and it hurts, or they're going to be removed from your life. You're going to cut them off and it's going to hurt. But basically it's saying that when you remove something from your life without replacing it, that's when you feel like there's a void or there's something missing. So the way to get past this situation is to find something that you are extremely passionate about and then put all your time, energy, and effort into that. And that's how you are going to move forward from the situation. And again, anybody who that resonates with, I am very sorry. I'm disgusted actually by how arrogant that person's energy is. So then we have the Queen of Cups, the Seven of Cups. Okay, so this is another group, I think. Let's see. It could be the same group again. As this, you can apply to all group like this. When it comes to this reading, all these groups could apply to you. So just take it as whatever resonates. Just take the messages that apply. I'm seeing here a group of you extremely sensitive. Could be a water sign. Some of you are Scorpio, Cancer, or Pisces, or you have strong water in your chart. But I'm seeing here someone who is extremely emotional, extremely loving, and extremely giving. But as of late, it's like you are confused about how much you should be giving, how much you shouldn't be giving. I feel like you're coming to a realization that you've been giving too much to this person, whoever this narcissistic energy is. I feel like you're coming to a realization that you've been giving far too much of your feelings to this person, and you've been making it clear that they are your only, your only choice, and they are making you feel more like an option, even though you have made it quite clear to them that you would never choose anybody else over them. And I feel like you might want to come out of this energy of feeling like, okay, this person is my end all be all. I feel like some of you have decided already that this is the person you want to be with. So because you already have fixed that story in your mind, or you already have decided on that and you're so emotionally attached to that story, it's keeping you stuck in the past and it's keeping you stuck on them. For some of you, this person may not even be around you anymore. You may have already cut this person off, or they may have cut you off, but I feel like you're still thinking about them and longing for them. And it's like you are aware that you put more energy into it than them. You're aware that you are more loving and caring than they are, but it's like you're fixated your mind on the fact that like this is the person I'm going to end up with. So it's like the universe or God could be offering you like someone new, like could be offering you new opportunities, and you're just like, nope, I don't want it. I want that person, because you fix your mind and your emotions on that person. So it's basically saying that you have to really come out of that energy because it's keeping you stuck and it's keeping you like stagnant. And it's not going to be easy, because when you have made up your mind about something, you've told yourself a story over and over and over again. You basically have created neural pathways in your mind that are pretty much stuck. So whenever you think about that person, now what you associate with that person is like you're happily ever after. So it's hard to break that neural pathway in your mind that you have created. But it's like now, in order to break that neural pathway, in order to retrain your mind, whenever you start to think about that person, try to think like, okay, it's over. It's over. Like tell yourself, screaming in your head, it's over. I deserve better. It's over. I deserve better. You have to really retrain your mind to see this person in a different way, because like I said, you created the story in your head about them, and now your brain is stuck on it. So now you have to tell yourself a different story over and over and over until your mind breaks free from that thought pattern. And I'm seeing here that some of you are afraid to actually face this realization that this person won't be around you anymore, be around forever, because you are afraid of the purging period and the pain that comes with letting this person fully go. It's like you don't want to come to the realization that this person may be gone forever, because then you're going to have to go through the grieving process, and you don't want to. But it's saying here that you have to. And not only do you have to, but the grieving process is actually going to be positive for you, because I'm saying that you're going to heighten your intuition through this grieving process. Some of you are this is definitely a water sign that I'm talking to, a highly like intuitive spiritual water sign. And the only reason that your intuitive gifts or like your psychic abilities are blocked is because you are still holding on to the past, and because you are so energetically closed off because of the person that you were dealing with. So purging this pain and purging this energy is actually going to help you to really step into your intuitive gifts. This is absolutely a water sign. Like I'm not like absolutely a water sign. And then I'm pulling, sorry. And then the King of Cups came up. So we have counterparts here. So the person that you were dealing with, yeah, they are emotionally manipulative. They are childish with their communication. Either they don't communicate with you at all, or they are very manipulative with their communication, or they're just very childish with the way they talk to you. This person has to be removed from your life. This energy has to be removed from your life so you can grow on a spiritual level. And I'm really seeing like some heightened like psychic or intuitive gifts coming after you purge this energy from your life. Okay, so that was the relationship portion. Okay, so now that I'm finished with the tarot advice, now I'm going to move on to just general advice and just general words of encouragement and how I actually moved past my situation with my narcissistic parents and with my narcissistic spouse. I've dealt with a few narcissists in the past, actually. So first of all, coming to the realization that you have a narcissistic parent is extremely, extremely painful. It makes you feel lost. It makes you feel like, okay, what else in my life is a lie? It just makes you feel bewildered almost, like you start to really question your sanity and your reality, and it's not a good feeling. But I think I mentioned this in one of the tarot spreads. The positive thing about this is that now you can actually start your life over, and like the next half of your life can be filled with your own reality, because when you are raised in a narcissistic household, your reality is not your own. Like you are being fed all these terrible things about yourself and told all these terrible things about yourself. So you are living someone else's distorted, evil reality. So now that you are coming to the realization that you have been raised in a narcissistic household, now you can really like wipe that slate clean, and now you can create the reality that you want for yourself. And it's not necessarily easy because you have been really programmed to kind of hate yourself when you have a narcissistic parent. You're really being programmed to think that you are a failure and that you're worthless. And you are going to have to reprogram your subconscious mind in order to get past those thoughts and those feelings. And the next video that I make is actually going to be on the subconscious. I'm going to try to make it today. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to, depending on how long this video takes to edit, but it will be up tomorrow, if not today. But you're going to have to really reprogram your subconscious mind to really purge out all of that hateful, like negative self-belief that they have planted within you. And also a step that a lot of people miss when it comes to healing from narcissistic abuse or any type of emotional abuse really is that they bury their pain, and you can't do that. And I understand that it is extremely painful, so you don't want to feel it. Like you just want to stuff it down and be like, okay, well, I understand this is what happened. Well, I'm moving on with my life. It is what it is. Don't do that, because you are really setting yourself up for failure. That pain will stay inside of your energetic body, and you will actually continuously create negative situations because you have that pain stuck inside of your energetic body. And not to mention, it's really bad for your health. So if you are a person that's really closed off and you're not used to feeling feelings, and it's about that time that you're going to have to like actually feel this, and just be aware that it's like this article that I was just reading. I'll attach it down below because I actually made a thread about it on Twitter. And basically what the article was saying is that pain is just pain, and that you need to not be afraid to feel it. Like, it's not going to kill you. Emotional pain is not going to kill you. You have to just really feel it and let it flow through your body. And if it gets too intense, like literally just lay yourself down in your bed, on your couch, on your floor, and just ask God to take it from you, but allow it to come up. Because if you keep it suppressed, like I said, you keep it buried down inside of you, it's doing nothing but keeping you energetically blocked. So you gotta feel that pain. But once you feel it, you have to be sure to transmute it. So a lot of people don't understand that energy cannot be destroyed. So any energy that's inside of your body, like negative energy from having narcissistic parents or a spouse, that energy cannot be destroyed. It stays with you. So in order for you to actually release it, you have to transmute it. Now, there's a couple ways that you can transmute energy. I think I'm going to do a video on this as well. But one of the most common ways is to cry. And that's why it's so important to actually let yourself cry, to not let people shame you for crying, because crying is like our body's natural way of cleansing our energetic field. So yeah, have yourself a good cry. Like really go in the shower if you need to and just like really cry it out. That's another thing that can also help you to transmute pain is water, taking showers, taking baths. Like at the hardest parts of my life, like the points where I was going through the most emotional pain, I remember taking like 3-4 showers a day. And I didn't understand why. Like I didn't understand why I felt compelled to do that. But now that I think back on it, it's like my body automatically knew, like my mind and my soul knew like that this is going to be cleansing for me. So I just kept having the urge to take showers. So taking a lot of showers, taking like baths like with sea salt, doing sea salt scrubs like in the shower really helps you get rid of all of that negative energy. And also a way that you can transmute pain is through art. So if you have any type of artistic outlet, you can really use that to transmute your pain, and it really does work. I know that like my twin flame, he's very, very good at this. I don't think that he even knows that he does this, but he is, he's a producer. So whenever he feels any type of pain, he releases it quite easily because he goes and just like produces and makes a beat, and then he feels better afterwards. And I don't think he even knows like that that's a way of transmuting pain. So even if you're a person who just has a hard time crying or a hard time showing your emotions, any type of artistic outlet will also help you to transmute this pain. And if you work out, that's a good way to burn off that pain, to burn off, especially if you have like anger and like bitterness and hostility inside of you, like punching a punching bag, punching a pillow, going to the gym and lifting heavy weights, just screaming, actually, like put your face in a pillow and scream if you need to. Like all of that actually transmutes and gets rid of this pain. And I did want to mention, I'll go more in depth on this when I make the video about transmuting pain, but I'm going to mention this in this video too. When you don't transmute your pain, someone else may have to transmute it for you in the future. So I'm just warning you. So if you don't transmute your pain and you keep this pain locked inside of you, and then you go on with your life and you try to like just go and have kids and just not think about it, it's a very good chance that your kids may have to transmute that wound for you. And a lot of people won't understand what I'm saying, but anybody who understands and it resonates with, it's because you're supposed to hear this message. Recently, I had to actually transmute a wound for my own parent that went through something very traumatic in the past, and that they never purged from their system. They never cried about it. They kept it buried. And so I was put in a situation that was extremely painful, and I cried for hours and hours and hours. It felt like I was going to die. And I was thinking to myself, why is this so painful? Like the situation at hand, it's like it wasn't even that serious for me to be as much in pain as I was. And then intuitively, I got this message. Like I said, I'm claircognizant, so sometimes it just happens. I got this message that basically the pain that I was feeling didn't belong to me. It belonged to one of my parents, and they had never purged it from their system, and they never transmuted it. So basically, me being the empath, I had to clear that wound for my parent in order for, basically it's like clearing out like the pain in your bloodline genetically. So I had to clear out that wound. And I also cleared out a wound for my twin flame. He went through something very traumatic in the past that he never actually got through. And I ended up clearing out that wound for him as well. It was very, it's annoying. Like, honestly, that's what I'm saying. Like, it feels, I guess, good to know that you actually like cleared some blockage from someone energetically, a blockage that's actually holding them back, but also holding you back as well. So it somewhat feels good that you cleared that for them, and that, you know, next year around the time that it's the anniversary of what happened, they won't actually feel it, and they probably will have no clue that I even cleared it for them, but they just won't feel the heaviness associated with it. So it's somewhat good, but then again, it's painful. That's why I'm saying, like, if you have any stuck pain or stuck trauma, and then you end up giving birth to like an empath child or like a spiritual healer, they will probably have to clear that wound for you. So just, you know, just do it. Just clear that wound so your child won't have to in the future. But again, like I said, I will actually make a video about transmuting pain and my experience with clearing other people's blockages as well. So yeah, what else? Oh, removing yourself from the narcissistic environment, obviously. I probably should have mentioned that first. It's hard to heal in the place that you got sick. I'm sure you've heard that saying before. If you were in bed coughing all night because you had a flu, you would get up and wash those sheets when you were better, right? Well, it's kind of similar when it comes to narcissistic abuse. And since you can't throw your parents in the washing machine and wash their energy, you got to just kind of get away from them. The same way if you had the flu, you were coughing everywhere, and you couldn't throw your blanket in the washer, you would probably just throw it out and get a new one, because you just can't, like, you're going to just keep on infecting yourself with the same old germs. So you just have to cut off these narcissistic people, parents, spouse, whatever, whoever. They have to be cut off. As painful as that might be, as guilty as you may feel for cutting them off, you have to cut them off. It's a requirement. It's necessary in order for you to heal. In the future, if you want to, you know, reconnect with them, I don't know why you would want to, but if you want to reconnect with them in the future, then you can, but first you have to focus on your own healing. And I don't mean to be insensitive by saying I don't know why you would want to. That sounded real bitter. I'm just saying, like, if these people make no effort to grow and heal and change on their own, once you are healed, you probably will have no desire to even go back and have a relationship with them, because why? You're just going to really just see like how stagnant they are and how much they have not changed and how much you have grown on your journey. And that takes a lot of work. That takes a lot of work and dedication to grow and heal yourself. So after you've gone through that process, it's very unlikely that you're going to want to turn back around and go back to certain people who just carry this toxic energy. But who knows? Like I said, when you are healed and, you know, you are not being triggered the way that you used to, maybe you will want to go back and rebuild a relationship with them, which is fine. The whole point is that to always put your mental health first and to never be around people who bring you down. So if you can be around toxic people without them bringing you down or like really polluting your energy, then by all means, you can go ahead and do that. But for right now, just remove yourself in order for you to focus on yourself and to focus on your own healing. And then I have to touch base on this, and I know a lot of people don't want to hear this, but forgiveness. And a lot of people are just like, oh boy, nobody wants to hear. Okay, I understand. Thinking about forgiving someone who has like psychologically, emotionally tortured you, for some people physically abused you too, it's like, it sounds insane. Like, why would I ever think about forgiving these people? Well, I don't see forgiveness as, okay, I forgive them, meaning that means what they did wasn't wrong. Like now they are absolved of any responsibility. I don't see forgiveness like that. I see forgiveness as choosing to let go of a burden that doesn't belong to you. So when someone treats you extremely horribly and just is a bad person and just really tears you down and brings you down, I just feel as though, why do I have to carry that energy with me? And whenever I have gone through that and I've held onto that grudge and I've held onto that bitterness, I carry that burden with me and it was destroying my body and breaking me down. So I'm just like, God, please take this energy from me and return back to sender. I don't want it anymore, because I feel as though that energy shouldn't belong to me. It should belong to them. I didn't do anything wrong. Like I didn't go in with ill intentions and try to abuse them. The only thing I probably did wrong, well, the only thing I did do wrong, not probably, is sticking around long after I already saw what their true colors were. But I just say to myself, like, okay, I forgive myself. And once I forgive myself, I want to be able to release that energy that they have put on me. Because when you're dealing with narcissists, narcissists live in a very like polluted state of being. Like their insides are extremely dark, and I'm not bashing them, because I remember at one point on Twitter, people were like, oh my God, you're bashing narcissists. They're mentally ill. Be more compassionate. I'm not trying to hear that, all right? Like I said, they are dark on the inside. Call it what you wanna. It ain't no bashing. It's not me telling you to go out and execute the narcissist, treat them as less than human. No, they're still human beings. Treat them, just remove yourself from them, but don't treat them badly. Just remove yourself. But what I'm saying is that they already live a dark existence. So they like to spread that darkness around. The same way when someone lives a very happy existence, you see them trying to spread that happiness around. Narcissists like to spread that darkness around. They don't want to see you succeed. They don't want to see you do well. They take it as an insult and an injury to them. Like imagine, whenever you do well or succeed at something, they're looking at you like, how dare you? How disrespectful are you to succeed in life and remind me of the way of how I really see and feel about myself? And then they will punish you. So they want to spread that darkness around. And I just feel like with forgiveness, I was able to be like, all right, well, that's not my burden to carry. That's not my darkness to carry. You can keep that darkness. You can keep that over there. But I want to be a light being. I want my heart to be light. So therefore, I want to practice forgiveness and let go of this stuck negative energy. And one person that really helped me with this was Wayne Dyer. He is a spiritual guru, I guess you could say. A spiritual master, an ascended master. I'm not sure like what his title would be, but he is a psychologist as well. And he did pass away a couple years ago, actually, but all of his teachings and like his lessons and stuff is on YouTube. I speak about him all the time. I feel like he's like the father of forgiveness. That's the main thing that he preaches. And, he had a father who completely neglected him and walked out on him. And he said that he would wake up in the middle of the night so angry that he would be drenched in sweat and like screaming, and that's what I mean when I say people are just like, you don't have to forgive. I'm just like, okay, but when you don't forgive, that's the result. You are keeping that energy stuck inside of you to the point where it's deteriorating you. So he would wake up in the middle of the night just like drenched in sweat because he was so angry. And he went to his father's grave, and I forget what he said, but like God touched him, or he said the Holy Spirit touched him or something, where he just was able to say like, from now on I send you love and I forgive you. And then he just like drove away. And he said he's never had like a bad dream about his father since then, or he's never felt that anger ever since then. And his whole life changed around. He was able to, like, he cleared such an energetic blockage that he was able to start writing books. He was able to just start manifesting abundance in his life because that energetic blockage was holding him back. And so many people say like, oh, well, you can still move forward with your life without forgiveness. And I'm just like, please stop it. Because why? Like, where is that coming from? That's coming from a place of ego. You want to hold on to it and not forgive them. Why? That's egotistical, and that's normal. Us as humans, we have egos. What I'm saying is like, when people tell you like you don't have to forgive to move on, I'm just like, why? If you are saying that you release the energy from your body and you no longer feel triggered about it and you can live a normal, happy life, then technically you have forgiven them. You just don't want to call it that because for some reason people equate forgiveness with giving their power away when really it's taking your power back. So I will link Wayne Dyer in the description box below if you want to check out some of his teachings. But yeah, it's really all about releasing that negative energy and forgiving that person, but also forgiving yourself. And when you come to a place of freedom where you feel like you're living your best life and they no longer affect you. Sorry, I'm getting like worked up here. They no longer affect you, then inadvertently you have forgiven them, whether you want to call it that or not. So if you want to give it a different title, you can do that. But I'm telling you, just releasing that energy and having it no longer weigh on you is going to feel phenomenal. You're going to feel like 10 pounds lighter, and you're just going to be able to write the next chapter of your life and like you have a clean slate. Okay, so there's one more thing I forgot to mention. So if this part of the audio sounds different than the last part of the audio, it's because I was literally like editing the last part of the audio when I remembered, like, this basically just hit me and I'm just like, okay, I have to add this into the video. So the thing that I forgot to mention is your sense of self-worth or your self-esteem after you cut ties with narcissistic parents and narcissistic partners or spouses. I think that a lot of people are going to greatly underestimate the way their self-esteem has been impacted, because when you are in the thick of it, like when you are actually living in the narcissistic abuse, you don't understand, like you don't get the full picture of how much is affecting you. But when you're away from it and it's just you and you have time to sit and like reflect on it, you're going to see that your self-esteem has been greatly damaged. When I got to a point where I had cut off all the abusive people in my life, or they had cut me off, one or the other, and I was just, alone by myself, I realized and noticed that I had a very hard time looking in the mirror. I had a very hard time just even listing like 10 things good about myself, like trying to do self-love exercises. I didn't see anything good about me. I didn't see anything desirable about me. I basically like really spiraled into like this very deep, dark place. And I realized that my whole sense of self-worth was being depicted, or was being, gosh, what's the word? I'm having like a brain fart. My whole sense of self-worth was basically rooted in what these people thought of me, these like narcissistic people, whether it be parents or like guys that I was dating, that my sense of self-worth was completely wrapped up in what they were thinking about me, and the way that they would criticize me and play games with my mind and gaslight me and manipulate me. It really, really took a toll on me. And I'm still to this day trying to crawl out of that hole and trying to build myself back up. Especially when you have a narcissistic parent, you have never really received any type of positive reinforcement. Like you've never received any type of like positive affirmations. So I can't even say like, oh, I'm trying to build myself back up. It's more so I'm trying to just build myself up, period. Because when you have a narcissistic parent, there was never a time when you were up. It's like from birth, they have already started to lower your self-esteem. They have already started to make you feel like you are worthless, like you can't do anything right, like basically just like you are nothing and that you are invisible. And to live that way for your whole life, and then to come to the realization that, it's not you, that it's them that's abusive, you would think that would immediately like hit a switch and you'll be like, oh, okay, it's not me. Like now I can be happy and have a high self-esteem. But it doesn't work like that. You have to do a lot of deprogramming. And it's tough. So I just had to add that in. And like I said, I'm going to do a video on reprogram your subconscious mind, because it's absolutely necessary when you are breaking free from narcissistic abuse, because your subconscious mind has literally been like polluted very severely and very badly. So I'm going to actually do a video on that. And I also have a video about self-love that I will link for you as well, where I list some of my self-love practices. But it's something that you have to be very dedicated to. It's something that like every single day you have to get up and basically like pledge to yourself that you are going to put yourself first, and that no matter how uncomfortable it gets, that you are going to do your self-love practices. So on the days where you feel like you feel like you're worthless, and you feel like you're not good enough, and you feel like you're invisible, or like nobody cares about you, or nobody loves you, you have to still look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself, I love you. Even when you don't believe it, even when you feel completely uncomfortable doing it, that's the most important time to actually do it. So it's not an easy task, and it's not an easy journey, like I said, but it's one that's absolutely necessary. And you have to be like committed and willing to put in the time, energy, and effort into loving yourself the way that you should have been loved since the day you were born, you know? So I just had to add that in. Again, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really hope that it was helpful. I am gonna start doing, I think, a weekly tarot spread, maybe on Sundays, so that I can do like my regular video content during the week, and then maybe on Sundays I'll do like love readings and spiritual guidance readings every Sunday. But I'm still deciding on it. But yeah, I have to put myself on some type of filming schedule. Again, thank you to everyone who has ordered a reading. I'm still working on them, so I'm getting some out today, and I'm getting some out tomorrow. Yeah, I think that's it. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.